This is a story about a girl. Not just any girl, a special girl. She's a girl who wandered from state home to state home until one day a family came to get her. She wasn't their long-lost child. They were just there to gather her up to make a good show of the charity to the judge. There was some trouble, an undesirable blemish on the family reputation, and adopting one of the sniveling wretches of the state system could erase that blemish. As any wretch would do, it happens they decided to pick a pretty wretch, and so, after only an afternoon of looking, they pointed the finger at Olive, and she was chosen to go home. It wasn't her home. She was never really welcome. It was someone's home, though. More than one someone at that. Even more someones that the family would ever come to realize. Still, it was a home and a house, something that Olive had never had. She arrived at the home on a Saturday. The family made no fuss, no welcome home speech, and had very little contact with Olive, except to tell her that she was only to live there until she turned 18. Then she would be off to do whatever it was orphans did when they grew up. Olive asked them if they knew what that was. They told her not to be cheeky, or she might have dinner that night. Olive was rushed upstairs to find her room. This was a sprawling mansion, with connecting homes and buildings, over 100 rooms. It had staff, old secret passages, creaking boards, and most areas were completely off limits to Olive. In fact, the only places that were on limits to Olive, or so she would call them, were the room she was assigned, the hallway leading to that room, the stairway connecting the hallway to the first floor, the main hall, the kitchen, and the small table where Olive sat to eat alone. Till Olive, it was perfect. The house was bigger than anyone could imagine, at least thought Olive. She spent her days locked away in her room with a number of books and other things that the family had discarded. She gladly took the things that were called junk and made them her own. There were old books, broken toys, clocks missing hands, broken dishes, and even some stuffed animals missing most of the stuffing. It was a hodgepodge of items that Olive quickly put to use. She created a fine patchwork of soldiers and their horses by chipping away at the broken porcelain to form the shapes they needed. These were created complete with clockwork shields and swords. She combined the stuffing from a number of tattered animals and created her own chimera of stuffing and twine. She lost herself in the books that lay scattered around her room, her favorite of which were those that had endings torn out, or even one missing the middle. It was here that her imagination took over, and she came up with a number of continuations and endings to these stories. Once a week, the maid assigned to her wing of the home came to let Olive out of her room to explore the area just outside her door. Olive immediately came to look forward to these visits, but it took a full month before the maid even told Olive her name, Emma, and another month after that before Olive saw her smile. It didn't matter all that much to Olive. The freedom that Emma gave her was a gift unlike any other. At night, Olive would eat heartily alone at her small table. She even made friends with the rats that frequented her dining establishment and giggled as they greedily ate the morsels she shared with them. Equantine was her favorite. She imagined that he was a mighty steed outside the home and only became a rat indoors so as to not cause much of a ruckus. He was the largest rat Olive had ever seen, and on the days that Olive didn't get much to eat, he was content with just sitting on her lap. Olive repeated the same thing, day in and day out, for an entire year. She only knew a year had passed because one day, the maid came to her room for a routine visit with a little package wrapped in a dinner napkin. She told Olive to hide it in her room until later and then open it. It was her birthday, she said, and Olive knew the term, but didn't know how anyone could tell when her birthday was. Emma knew somehow, and later explained that it was a year since she had come to live with them, and that would be Olive's new birthday. Emma also made sure Olive had new different books to read. At the end of that night, after dinner, Olive rushed to her room to find the bundle Emma had given her. Unwrapping it, she squealed with delight. Inside was a small chocolate cake, 2 small glass gems, and a handwritten note from Emma. The note was the most amazing treasure Olive had ever been given. In the note, Emma told Olive why she was alone in the wing of the home. That wing was called Haunted, and any of the members of the family who had wound up there ended up dead. It was only Olive who broke the curse, it would seem, but it might only have been because she was not a member of the family. Olive's mind reeled with the possibilities, as she daydreamed of making friends with phantasms and playing sports with poltergeists. On their next meeting, Olive assured Emma that she would keep her safe from all the spirits of the South Wing, which made Emma open up a little more to Olive. She was the only friend Olive had, but she didn't mind. Anything was better than the groping hands and cold nights of the state homes. A few more months passed, and one day her door unlocked, but instead of Emma, it was the lady of the house. She came to tell Olive that a member of the state was visiting, to see how Olive was getting along, and that she had better tell the man nothing but good things, or else there'd be trouble. Olive didn't know why she would tell the man anything but good things. The home was fantastic, her room was lovely, and the food was delicious. All of these things she espoused to the man upon meeting him, to his delight and the utter astonishment of the lord and lady of the house. They could tell that Olive was being genuine. Everyone in the room could, and they began to wonder what it was that was wrong with the child. Having garnered the family a great deal of improvement of reputation with the state, the lock was removed from Olive's door, and she had the freedom to explore the entire South Wing. She did so with an insane fervor. Every day from that point on was a new adventure, and Olive thought, on a number of occasions, that she saw signs of her spirit neighbors. She giggled with delight and began to just talking with the walls, chairs, and especially books that she found in the rooms. Overall, there were 20 rooms in their wing of the home, each roughly the size of her own, with one large room at the end that must at one point have been a library or study. Only a few books remained there, mainly philosophy, but these Olive devoured in only 1 week, and sparked ideas within her that caused her to think for months on end. It is here, at this point of our story, where Olive's tale really begins.